Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good day in the market. May 12th, Tuesday. We're going to review 0-day options today on SPY and the small account challenge. So my average P&L on Tuesdays is negative $2.21. So every day I'm trying to just do better than my average. So let's see if we did that today or not. So basically, if I didn't take a single trade, I'm doing better than my average. So with those kind of metrics, some days better just not even to trade. Anyways, you never know. You never know. So, it's good though. For me to have kind of goals and something to strive for. Keep improving. Yeah. Here we are. This is Eric's 30-minute chart. He's by day trading on YouTube. I have him tagged in the title. His Discord's also in the description. Gap down this morning. Came down to 5-day. Broke below it. Actually broke this orange, which is kind of the final buying, but ended up rallying up through it and breaking 5-day, completing the cup, and then little handle and a gap fill right there, end of day. So let's get to the 1 minute on here. Yeah. So this is what I charted. Purple for this selling. And gray for this bearish controlled buying right here. Got it from right there. And then kind of confirmed a little bit more there. And then I got this red for the bearish controlled selling. And that was based on... This maybe wasn't actually that legit. Did I keep using this? Yeah. There was maybe another one. I'd never charted another one though. This didn't really become super necessary with my trades today. I think I even charted it wrong, but it was still kind of working for me because it was close enough. Yeah, I had it from right here. And then, yeah, it didn't even test up there. I think I changed it at some point. Oh, yeah, from right here. Here. Yeah, actually, this one I got in later. I had a little steeper one. Anyways, not a whole lot of algos or channels drawn today. Not necessary. And I didn't see a whole lot more than this. Saw some later, but I like to keep it as simple as I can. I had to put at 1018. So this was... I wanted to catch this, but my initial charting was looking for a little more of a retrace, and it just didn't, so I didn't catch the top of that. Oh yeah, right here. So I didn't get it until came down, bounced off that as support, and then yeah, I broke through that. So potential entry for even puts on that as a breakout from the selling in red to selling in this now green. Could have been purple, but I charted this green based on this one. I didn't trade any of this though. Not yet. I was waiting for a retrace, which we got. And I gotta put right here on this candle. This line, I think at that point was like up here. So 5-day wasn't quite there. Where was that line? Maybe I had it here. Yeah, I did. This candle then came up. I was using that for my stop, and it rallied through it. And it actually stopped me out right there. So it's so easy to see in hindsight, like, why don't you just hold and wait till the candle closes? I wasn't super confident in this being my stop. To me, this was kind of just an arbitrary stop because I didn't know if it should be on this body, it should be on that wick, as well as I wasn't quite sure the degree here. This was still pretty early candles, and I hadn't seen a whole lot of structure, price action supporting this. I saw some here, but it was not super clear to me. So, even if my drawings are wrong, just having rules and sticking to them, you can be successful. And in this case, yeah, it stopped me out there. So it was okay. This was edge of the wedge trade, which is fine. But yeah, then it started selling, and I'm like, I thought about jumping in. I was like, okay, it was actually resisting there, just kind of wicking through it. I was like, I'm just gonna wait since it's now kind of in the wedge, because my stop would either have to be this purple, which of course see it would have stopped me here, or way up here, and I didn't want to enter here for a stop up there. I don't like that risk reward, because gray would definitely be my first take profit. So it did end up selling. That was a little stop. Next entry was at 10:29 on this candle. So it was waiting for the gray break, what I was doing. And the only issue here, though, is red. Not sure why. This one's maybe for later. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I had this red one down here. Most likely, like here. So the only problem with this is that it's very close to my take profit. It's actually not too bad. But these are all wicks, so you don't really know if it's going to be, you know, here or here, how far down it's going to reach. If it's going to fully test the bottom of that support or not. I did get in on this candle, though. 10:29, I bought 2 734 puts. So this is the strike right here. It was a little sketchy because this is also right when a couple's closing, and this is me basically saying no to your handle. Not gonna give you a handle. No, it's more because it broke this gray. So if it broke it up here and it came down, then I'd maybe think it'd bounce and retest it. But the fact that we had this one charted already, and it broke it. Of course, it could always still give a handle, but that's where I have these other purple and green to manage my risk. So it was a little frightening because I got in like here when it was red, and then it rallied up, and this range was pretty, it was definitely moving the contract a bit. But I got 2 for $1.05. And then on this candle, nice big candle, basically right to my profit target. Sold one right there at 10:30 for $1.18. And then actually held the second one until right here. Literally on that candle. 10:32. Sold that one for $1.48. So happy with that first trade. Of course, in the moment, I'm like bummed I didn't just jump back in up here once it stopped me out with that wick. Because I actually had a perfect top tick. Those are always nice to get, but it was nice anyways to be able to catch this move right here. The reason why I closed a second one here, it was starting to show some weakness, and I had charted this green at that point, so it was close enough to that. I don't think there was anything on the 30-minute. No, nothing on the 30-minute that'd make me close it either. Yeah. So I think it was more just this green. I didn't look at Eric's chart today at all on the 1-minute chart. We'll maybe check that out. Yeah, so that first trade was pretty nice. The next one was at 11:01. This was a put. So bounced up. This is a perfect retest up here. I know, kind of. I kind of wanted it middle of the wedge, but yeah, it's so much easier in hindsight. I think I wasn't paying too much attention actually right then. I was kind of just trying to be patient to get back into a trade because of this good trade. I'm trying to just have like a timer before I can enter again. But that being said, this was definitely a nice retrace. And if I missed this, potentially I would have had the energy to take this one. But I didn't. Came down. And where did I say? 11:01? Yeah, right here. So it broke this. Broke it right here. I jumped in. Kind of wicky. And I closed it. 11:03. 66 cents. I'll close on this candle to 72 cents. So still a green trade after all. Mostly because it was about to break the purple. I opened it. It came down here. I did have this red also at that point, so I was like, it could very well be selling in this red and not necessarily this steeper. So that would have been my price target, which it did end up, of course, doing, but the structure wasn't great either. And then it broke purple, and I was already up, and it was only one contract, so I just took profits on it right there. It's a good thing because it came all the way back up and tested it, and I guess I could have held through that, but yeah. And then it came way up there. Let's see, 1101 to 1103. Yeah, just a little scalp in there. And next trade was at 1116. Yep, right here. So the reason for this, if it's not going to give me a nice retrace for an entry like it did here, then it's most likely selling in this red. And so if it changes from selling in the red to purple or my green, then you can always chase it. And that's what this was. This one was pretty scary though, because it was moving pretty slow. Like you have these big volume here and here, but that like didn't fully break like it did. But then this one just, they started moving kind of slow, and I was like, this is sketch. So I don't think I held this one very long. 1116, I said, 84 cents. Got a pretty nice fill on it. It rallied up. I held on because of the purple. Ended up closing down here, and then this candle I closed it out on, I think. Let's see, 1117. Yeah, 84 cents to 94 cents. Close it out somewhere on this candle. Like I said, I was just a little sketched out about it, and I don't know. I didn't need to be, because I could have had this red for my stop. I was able to hold through this, but it just, yeah, I don't know. So this would have been nice, and of course I could have gotten back in on the retest there if I had wanted to be that aggressive. I guess I didn't, because I had that earlier trade that was good, and so it's kind of, I don't know. I guess this is all hindsight too. But seeing it, it's like, yeah, I could use that for my stop. Definitely would have been red based on my entry here. Trying to use that for my stop. And I wasn't super convinced in this red anyways. I thought maybe I'd charted this wrong. So that's another reason why I wasn't like, okay, I'll just use this for my stop. But yeah, using that for your stop, and then just taking another leg down there with purple would have been fantastic. Yeah, this one went pretty big. I had held it. But it was nice little scalp. Happy about that one. Next trade wasn't for another, it's like an hour and 15 minutes at 12:32. So did all its thing. So here's my lesson for today that hopefully I remember, and I could probably write it down. And it's something Eric says often, but it's like, it's just a lot of learning curve. But when you don't have good structure, it's oftentimes a sign that there's not going to be continuation. And without continuation, that's a good time to take a reversal trade. So lack of structure here on a head and shoulders. Just it's kind of building liquidity here. And then it breaks. So I think this is where I get a put. 1232, yep. I grab a put here on this break, even though, yeah, the structure's not great. Wait, no, where do I get it? Oh, no, this is an earlier one. Oh, yeah, I got bamboozled right here. Been watching Doc play Apex Legends. Got bamboozled right here, and it wicked. And why did I hold this? What happened? Huh. Oh, this was a call. That's right. I didn't get bamboozled. I was trying to catch a wedge trade. I was trying to catch the bottom. So I was already starting to think about the reversal. Or at least not a reversal, but a retracement, a zombie trade. And that's based on lack of structure, I guess. I wasn't really thinking about that too much. I was more thinking it's selling in the red, which to me is bullish controlled selling. And I guess lack of structure. The fact that it's retesting gray is a perfect spot for a stop, which is probably the main reason. So stopped or bounced here. I got a call right there at 10:32, looking for a move up to top of red or VWAP. So I don't sell anywhere in here. Bounces up. I mean, let's see. Bought for 40 cents. Ended up selling for 31, so it was a red trade. I sold it, yeah, on that red candle right there. Because that's my stop again, remember the gray. So, and then that lesson came to my head. after it started to bounce. So I was looking for this move. I was looking for it here, which could have happened, but it made a nice little inverse head to grab this shoulder, which is much nicer. Ended up double bottoming. But to anticipate this, you're seeing it break gray, but with lack of good structure. So to be ready for something like this, not to say you take it just randomly. I mean, I would have still waited for it to break probably this red, but maybe this one if you had, you know, some charting to manage risks. This one's a little steep, but yeah, and you could have even taken on a double bottom, which I'm not usually trying to take those, but in this case there wasn't structure to the downside, so at least a handle if it does want to keep going for this inverse cup and handle. But we were due for a retrace. Let's see, at that point, yeah. Well, we had broken, so part of the reason I took that there is because we had broken this orange and we were kind of consolidating below it. So I was thinking a little more bearish, I guess. Because I mean, it doesn't always have to play by your rules and make perfect structure. And I mean, breaking gray is where I'm going to get my puts. So that's why I got him. Or that's where I got my call for this move. Didn't end up happening right there. Close it out on this red candle. I think I flipped a put then. Let me see. Yeah, 12.45. Sold the put, bought a call for 54, or a put for 54 cents. Bought another one for 53 cents. Sold one for 61, sold one for 56. So it was a green trade. Sold it at 48 right here. And then 49 right here because it broke the purple. And it was low of day. I mean, I would have liked to have wrote it down to here, but yeah, since it was a bit of a chase as well. And maybe at that point I was thinking there wasn't a great head and shoulder, so it might have to build a handle here. And then I actually stepped away and it did the move that I was kind of trying to catch. I probably wouldn't have caught it down here. I maybe would have on the break of this, but I'm pretty sure I would have here or on that retest. I would have got calls on that. And this was just a beautiful rally up to. I take profit. I mean, depending on how I held it. I mean, these are just green candles all the way up. If I waited for a red candle, it would have been up here. If I was just trying to hit my profit target, it probably would have been here around VWAP and that red. I'm trying to do better at that though. So yeah, if I put that at the wick, then you can see, yeah, I probably would have done that. So it would have been a nice trade. Would have been a very nice trade, but I did miss this, which I was fine about. I stepped away and I came back and it was actually right, where was it? It was right here when I came back and I was like, okay, it's breaking my final channel. I'll grab calls on the retest, and it just never retested and just grinded up and looked like it was buying up in this gray to me, which I didn't want to really be a part of. I did if it gave me a re-entry, like if it built a nice shoulder here and then retested red, I would have, just like it did here, just a little retest, but it didn't do it, so I didn't get in there. Let's see. 156. Next trade was at 254, so a couple hours later. I came up, got to 5-day. Oh yeah, that's right, this trade. Right here. Yep. So I was trying to get some exposure to upside since it had broken. There might have been a flatter channel. I'll go up here and we'll check Eric's. Maybe he had one where this was resisting. I didn't have it, so I was kind of just waiting for a little structure. A nice little shoulder here. A little inverse head built, and so I was just using my red for the break of that for my trade. So I got one right here at 54. This was a little bit of a, yeah, it was a little bit of a risky one. I got it for 33 cents. It came down. I sold it right here on this red candle on the break back through that red. So yeah, that's kind of the nature of it. I put in the gray then for the buying, thinking maybe it's just buying up in this gray, just like it kind of was down here, even though it's not that accurate. Well, it's pretty accurate. I don't know. Yeah, I'm curious to see Eric's now. So that was a little stop out. Where's that? Wait. It was 255. Yeah. So 254, bought one for 33 cents, sold it 259 for 27 cents. So very small. These are 737s, but they're cheaper end of day. Next one was at 320, which, okay, so it did break up out of gray, and I really considered actually getting a call there on the break of gray into the steeper gold. Would have actually been a nice trade just for that cup close, like perfect cup close. I just didn't feel like it. 320 though, I did take a trade. I got a call for 45 cents. Oh yeah, this one. Okay, so I didn't feel like taking it here, but I was going to take it on the retest, and I did. So I got a call right here on the retest. Hoping it's doing, you know, something similar to here. Or just, yeah, retesting the gray that it broke out of. But like I said, my charting maybe wasn't quite right on the gray. Like maybe it was something a little flatter like this, and that was actually the retest down there. That's probably more likely. Very flat. So I got it here, and I think I stopped out like right away just because it broke through there. Yeah, 45 cents to 40 cents. Stopped out on the next candle. And of course it did end up going up, just dug a little deeper than I was expecting. Next entry was 2 calls at 330 right here. So on that candle. Once it broke my red. So this was the handle. Just made the cup. Here's a little handle. Yeah, I made a little handle, and I got on the break right here. I got 2, so I queued up 2, waiting for this. Once it did it, I just hit send, and then we get nice green price action. I'm still thinking it's possible we're gonna, because now we're breaking out of like high of day, so, and we're getting towards the end of day. There's a gap fill up here, but I'm like, well, I don't know, I might just buy up in gray and kind of chop towards end of day. I'm gonna have kind of continuation like it did. So I was thinking about taking profits on this gray, and then I don't know why this one, but anyways, it came up to here, and let's see what I do. 20 cents I bought it. I sold the first one for 23 cents. I'm not looking at the price, so it was a tight little move. Sold the first one, yeah, like right here, somewhere here. It wasn't at the top of that candle. And I look over, and I'm trying to figure out why there's a 1 still in my account. There's still 1 sitting there. I'm like, oh shoot. And I kind of like am freaking out, like, okay, what'd I do? Did I just buy a put? Like, what is this? It's because it's very small action here. And it's quick, of course. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Because I just sent an order, I thought, to sell 1, and I still see 1. And so I thought, did I buy a put? Did I buy another call? And there was only 1 though, so I was like, that's weird. I'm like, maybe it just didn't sell. So then I just went and sold that one too. Kind of in a, not a frantic, but in a way, I was like, I didn't know what was going on, so I just wanted to close it. It was a call, I was doing well, and I lost my train of thought to maybe try and hold it for a bigger move. A break of that gray, which it actually had already done and held above it, so if I'd seen that, that would have been nice. But it ended up being a green trade, and what happened was, of course, I bought 2 down here, and I forgot that because I just had it queued, and it doesn't show. It just is a confirmation screen. So anyways, that was kind of a mistake, but it ended up working out. Bought it for 20 cents, sold it for 23 and 24. So just a little scalp there, and then gave back some of it on this next trade at 334 to 336. Yeah, this was a chase. Yep, got it right here. And it broke the gold, and then I closed it right there. So it's my fault for chasing. I hardly ever chase, but I was like, you know what, I've got gold for a clear stop, I'll just jump in. I was looking for that gap fill. That was what, 37 cents to 32 cents, so gave back some of it right there, unfortunately. But I wasn't done. Grinds down here actually has a perfect retest on that gray. And when it bounced on there, I'm like, I could have taken it there, but we're getting so close to the 10-minute move. It breaks here. I don't think I'd take that, thankfully. Yeah, I don't take that just because it's gray is basically, I think, gatekeeping. And And it's so close to 10-minute move, so I'm like, I'll just wait. And thankfully I did, because it then grinded down, chopped around, broke it again. I'm like, all right, well, we're still selling in gray. I got to wait for it to break this gray to the upside. And then that 10-minute candle, boom. I don't immediately go in on a call on the 10-minute candle. My range is just up to here. This is the gap fill, this blue line. So we're at 638.19. I'm looking for 638.7. So plenty of move for the 10-minute to be worthwhile. This candle rips up and it's just like pinned up here, and I'm like trying to wait for a little bit of a pullback, just a little better price. Swinging like crazy, of course. I get in probably somewhere like here. Then it comes way down, and I'm holding. Like I'll just stick with gold, kind of. I'm kind of using gray for my stop here. And then it closes up here. I'm like, okay, phew, at least it closed. Like the 10-minute candle just goes all over the place. I'm like, okay, at least it closed above the gray, so it seems like a breakout. Then this candle was kind of weak. Just I'm like, it's close to that gap fill. And then this candle actually broke my gold and just went flush down here red and totally took out all those profits that I had. I'm sure it was red at that point. I'm not sure. Or I'm sure it was. I didn't see it though. And it's just like sitting down here fully red. I'm like, oh, at least it's on the support. And then it rallies back up. I'm like, yes. I was just trying to just be as patient as I could in this next candle. We're just hanging out. Like I should probably just take it right here. Then it went, and I took it. I caught it. I think right there. Pretty much top ticked it. Yeah, I caught it like right here. It went a little higher, but I caught it right there at the gap fill. And this actually was a great trade for this. Brought the account back up to, I think, the high I was on the day. So I was pretty high after those morning trades, and I gave it some back, of course, like midday and in here or wherever. But this brought me back up, I think, to as high as I was. So yeah, way better than my average today. Average is negative 2.2. They're the trades. There they are. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to figure out how to negotiate a red day. We gotta keep those small. Yeah, I'm trying to set more rules for that, like I was telling you in the prior videos. Checking my daily average P&L in a day helps, because then it's like, okay, I've got a very low bar that's set. Most of them are negative, so if I can just not trade or just be barely positive, that's good. And then I just have to mitigate my red days and losses. So Mondays are my worst day. I think Mondays are the worst, and then Fridays second. So I was trying to be careful on Monday. It was just setting up, and it seems good. So Monday worked, and yeah, Tuesday. This is a good day actually. Tuesday's a nice day this week. Here we go, 77. Not bad. Wednesday's typically my best day, but I don't like to just go by day. Like I'm trying to find some kind of metrics, but because it doesn't make sense to just chase it after days, because I'm just waiting for specific setups that I'm comfortable with and the way my charting is. Some days I'm more accurate. Some days are just better for trading. So, but I think there is some merit to see, okay, well, you don't do as well in these days. And I think that's mostly just because of the price action. Maybe it's because I don't chart as good, or maybe because it's psychological, like first day of the week, last day of the week. Maybe some of both. But I think those days typically are like liquidity type days anyways, like Monday, building liquidity for the week, and then Friday, it's just kind of usually trapping. So that combined with psychologically, I'm fired up to start on Monday and overzealous, and then Friday I'm trying to end strong. So it's probably a combination. Anyways, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Sub up, like up, comment down, hat my sticks around. See you tomorrow. Peace out.